Hey everyone, if you need to catch up on any of the games you've missed from this split or looking to expand your league horizons, head to LOL Esports where you can get VODs from Europe, Korea, Taiwan, China, and all the games from this split right here in North America. But right now, we're going to head into our next game with CounterLogic Gaming facing off against Gravity. CLG are feeling unstoppable, and they should be, with their hold on first place and an undefeated 3-0 record since ZionSpartan took over in the top lane.
Yeah, they are fielding too many threats for their opponents to handle now. The whole team is bringing pressure by roaming. Lissandra was invading deep into the jungle to ward for their bottom lane. ZionSpartan has had very timely teleports, and it goes without saying that everyone in the LCS should be scared of Aphromoo skill shots.
It's like whack-a-mole. Even in Champ Select, CLG have proven tough to ban, right? You ban one of them, another one pops up. You ban one, another one pops up.
And I'd even say at this point, it's futile to ban anything at Aphromoo. He's simply a really good player. He's just really accurate with his skill shot. So he has plenty more champions that he can go to if you ban out the things that you're most scared of. Now, CLG have always been a team willing to give away champions that others feel are overpowered in the meta. You know, at the time, Kassadin, I think, is a really prime example here. Even last year, Link was really outspoken about how he's fine with playing against Kassadin, and CLG continuously gave it up. And they still gave it up, as we saw yesterday, along with a bunch of other champions that are in the meta right now and considered extremely strong. But CLG, when they're confident, when they have a strategy that they can play against it, they will continue to give those up. Now, the thing that has cost them is a little bit of that overconfidence, as we've seen in the late game. They get a little bit overzealous and start making some of those mistakes, similar to what we just saw from Cloud9. We'll have to see if they can clean up that late game.
That we will, and that may be something that works in Gravity's favor. However, in yesterday's game, Gravity got a team comp that they were happy with, but weren't able to pick up the win against Impulse with.
Yeah, and after that, even Saintvicious tweeted that they had this comp they'd been practicing a lot with, they'd been performing with it in scrims, but they weren't able to execute in the LCS. And those team fights did look like they had some things to work on. Gravity, they put a lot of stock in their shot callers, Saintvicious, because they recently let go of their coach. So for this matchup, we're going to see the team, if they can actually respond to CLG's early moves across the map and actually punish them for the overconfidence and overreaching moves that they have made later in the game.
Well, we're going to get that answer right now, Kobe. Let's get the game underway with a quick roster rundown. On the blue side, it's CounterLogic Gaming. ZionSpartan in the top lane, Xmithie in the jungle, Link is invisible in mid lane, Doublelift at 80 carry, and Aphromoo on support.
Maybe that's a hint. He's going to play Evelynn in mid lane today. Red side, though, it will be Gravity. Up top is Hauntzer in the jungle, Saintvicious. Mid, Keane, 80 carry cop, and support Bunny FuFuu. Funnily enough, he's going against Keane, who could very well pull out something like Urgot or Hecarim.
Or something crazy. Well, right now, Link's actually pulling out a different mouse because he realizes that he has somebody else's, and he's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. And if you're going to be Link in the mid lane, you need your own mouse.
Well, we better check that DPI.
Yep.
Anytime you plug in a different mouse, I always got to adjust.
He is approaching now. Maybe a little too, free and whatnot from yesterday's game. They came out of that one happy, you could say, with Link's comments. But coming into this one, hopefully they realize, games are going to be tougher. Not every game is going to be that easy. And this one, Gravity could give them a run for their money. We see Saintvicious trying to be very aggressive in the early part of the game. And not that Xmithie is kind of an unknown this season. We already know him from being one of the most, improved junglers in past splits. But we haven't seen him explode this season. And I think it's still there.
I'd say, coming out of retirement, he's definitely making a case for most improved since we haven't seen him before.
He still holds it. He's got it. Consistency.
But he has been making a couple of mistakes, as the rest of CLG have as well. Positioning a little bit later into the game. However, many people have commended him for his abilities, especially coming back so recently. Santorin specifically comes to mind. Had props for Xmithie. Seems all of TSM really props for all of CLG. So. Still, the oldest organization is very close.
And then we talked a bit about ZionSpartan and their kind of run since he's been on the team. The team's feeling good. It's not one that has tried to say, Zion, we need you to do this. They said, Zion, be ZionSpartan, man. Go crush lane, crush faces, do your thing.
That's one of the things that has me most excited for this current CLG.
Yeah.
I know, aside from, worrying about finishing games off cleanly and stuff like that, I'm glad to see them finally happy.
Just embrace
Actually,
it.
Just the teams having fun together. Whenever you see a team like that, I mean, it's the same reason why a lot of people really enjoyed the old TSM and Cloud9, because they're having so much fun while they play this game. You really feel like those guys are friends, and they're creating strong relationships.
That's true. You see what the environment kind of is everywhere, just as they're in a group of 5. And right now, it's a lot of smiles for Counter Logic Gaming. Question coming into this is, does Lynx Italy get banned along with already the AP champions in mid that we see? A 9-1-7 game on that yesterday.
Okay. So Annie, as far as support bans, is something that I am okay with. I wouldn't like to target Aphromoo, but Annie right now is just ridiculously strong. The initiation that she brings to a team from that support role is huge. So we'll see here. Aphromoo doesn't want to play against Morgana either, so they don't want Bunny FuFuu to get the roaming bindings off.
Yep, good call. Like we said, we saw that from him yesterday. Kalista being taken out, so none of that nonsense for Doublelift. He had that versus Impulse in week 2. It will be the Lissandra pickup, however, to start this one off for Counter Logic Gaming.
And so the Jarvan's banned out, but the Gnar is left up. So not really as scared of the champion in general. And they've already banned out half of the combos. So CLG really very low priority on Gnar. Right. I really like the early lock-ins of Lissandra again. As we said yesterday, very flexible champion, not only as far as lanes that she can go, but also teams that she can fit in. Pretty much works with everything. Same could be said for Corki here for Gravity.
Yeah.
Could go to many different lanes as well.
That's true. We've seen it go into Keane quite a few times. And actually the past 2 games for him, that Lissandra, actually the only other time that Counter Logic Gaming's been able to pick it, it's been banned every other game. And the first time they played it, it went to Link. So, like you said, it could actually go anywhere without priority.
Yeah. The other thing I like from Gravity here, taking away the Vi from Xmithie. Anytime you do have a jungler recently coming back from retirement, their champion pool usually a bit smaller. So now we get to see some more from Xmithie, see what else he has in there, rather than just going back to Vi over and over again.
Yeah.
Plus Saintvicious and Gravity used it to great effect. That was one of their biggest wins, taking down Cloud9 using that Vi and dive strategy. Keane very famous for his Urgot, by the way, in solo queues. So he's playing to the crowd as his cop.
A blitz pickup would probably mean a Thresh on the other side. Got to have those hooks for Aphromoo.
Yeah. So CLG locking in the AD carry that Doublelift feels safest on when facing Vi. Sivir, you can actually spell shield the ultimate. Feels great if you're the AD carry. However, terrible if you are the Vi player. And with Morgana being banned out, Doublelift will be relying on his own reaction speed, which is amazing, by the way. His Sivir spell shields are very, very impressive. Yeah. Not only will he almost always block a spell, but he blocks specific spells, even in team fights, saving it, taking something that's just damage and saving it for the actual CC spells to hit. So we'll see how well he can actually time that.
I'm going to hold you
if he can actually block the correct spell, which would be Vi Ultimate, of course. Or Irelia stun.
And then when he actually times it right, he takes a Zephyr from Janna, and then it's gone. He just gets
Corki
hit by
Rocket is going to ruin his day.
Well, right now they definitely have a team that wants to ruin Doublelift's day. Could have that Vi and Irelia diving in. So what did they round out the comp with? We could, like we said, still have a top lane to be picked here for ZionSpartan.
Top lane could still be
support.
Picked. Gravity really are doing a good job with the early Corki pick, not giving away too much here. It could go to AD carry, in which case Doublelift will be fine with that as well, because in lane, Spell Shield really strong against Corki. But it could, as we said, be a mid lane Corki.
Not be a bad lane to go up against. Easily use the Spell Shield for the fast bombs and not have to worry about a hook or someone grabbing you. Alistar, Ezreal.
So we talked about that deep champion pool.
Okay. I was like, wait, there's 2 AD.
Yeah, we'll raise you a double AD composition here.
Very cool.
I don't think we've had a quadra AD comp fight in the North American LCS.
No, we haven't.
In any season. So we may get our first chance here if Comp decides to go with Caitlyn or something in the works. But Aphromoo, I really do like this, especially when they're running a double AD, and one of those ADs is Sivir. The extra speed for an Alistar is extremely impressive, especially when you do have Lissandra as well. So this CLG high-speed comp looks very, very scary.
It reminds me, unfortunately, they don't have the Orianna, but I was thinking of the cow ball as soon as he locked it in his engagement. So we still may see Afro going very hard on these for some flash pulverizes to get the team started. Could have the Azir going over to Keane. He will lock that in, so Link won't have too much trouble staying safe with the Mystic shots, but Keane will have to be dodging back and forth. So the comps are locked in. Cool stuff from CLG Gaming to bring a little bit of flavor into the week, and as well as Gravity putting their composition that they want together. Thought Cop was playing Azir there for a second. Would have loved it.
Yeah, both Keane and Phoenix, the two mid laners, you know, with the organization formerly known as Curse, Curse Academy and Curse, the actual team, both fairly well versed in Azir play. We'll see if he can actually, if that Azir wall is enough to stop the dive. Azir plus Janna is incredible anti-dive. It's such good peel. We'll see if they can actually make good use of it, because there's so much potential to spread out CLG, you know, and pick them apart here if you have double knockbacks like that. We'll see how Aphromoo is able to weave his way through everything.
Well, the coach is approaching. Good luck to each of you gentlemen and the teams, as they are now out of control of whatever happens. They now leave it up to the players. A very intense moment. Yeah, right. I've done my work. It's up to you. As we head on to the Rift, tweet hashtag CLG win or hashtag GV win, so we can see who you, the fans, think will be ending the week with a victory out of these two teams. You can see the comms on your screen, and we're just about to get to the Rift. Everybody in the crowd, very much ready, getting back to their seats for CLG Gaming versus Gravity.
Yeah, and Saintvicious versus his original team that he was kicked off.
Memories, Kobe?
Yep.
Memories.
Actually, Saint did have technically a stint on the team that developed into TSM. So maybe historians will consider him originally a TSM. Semantics, I say, semantics.
So looking at the matchup against Hauntzer, Zion believes that proactive approach to the game he has is what sets him apart from other more passive top laners.
I don't think he's the player that will kind of be like, I need jungle pressure, I can dictate the flow of the game, and this is what I need, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how we're going to win. Whereas I see myself as the kind of player that can really be like, this is what I need, this is what I'm going to do to win, and this is how we're going to win, and it's going to happen, and it does happen. And that's what I feel like not only Hauntzer, but a lot of top laners lack.
And it does happen. That's what he said.
Yeah. Not a lot of specifics there, but basically Zion saying, I'm a strong, independent top laner. I don't need no jungle.
I guess not. We will see, though. Hopefully it doesn't go awry for him in this game, because he just put himself on the soapbox here coming in against Gravity. Hauntzer on Irelia. ZionSpartan should be able to stay safe on Lissandra. Believe me, we'll keep an eye on that lane. Aphromoo and Doublelift looks like they're going to start off to try and get an early level 2, but it doesn't look like Gravity wants to match up that lane anyways.
Yeah. Cop has always been fairly outspoken about, you know, not really enjoying that laning phase. And now that he doesn't have Xpecial by his side, they do not want to take it. Corki Janna, as we said, you know, not going to really like laning against the spell shield. So Sivir, there are multiple ways that Sivir, you know, can gain control of the lane. If you do go with this side camp, then you can actually go your early points in Boomerang and Spell Shield and just have really good trading power. Or, you know, you can start your W and you just shove the lane very quickly. Since he's going into a lane without opponents, going to grab that Boomerang for the extra CS that he can grab out of range. Meanwhile, Bunny FuFuu starts the roam first as far as supports. Janna heading straight down mid lane. He doesn't have that hard CC like the Morgana would to really affect the mid lane, but he'll make an attempt here to try and get something out of Link. A little zoning potential.
You know, I was wondering, Kobe, if Bunny FuFuu would again go for the mid lane. We saw this yesterday on Morgana, and even without having hard crowd control, he just heads in there and just trying to deter Link.
Successfully denied 3 CS there.
Perfect.
All 3 of those minions went down. Oh, actually, no. Never mind. He only denied 1.
It was the thought.
Link got that, he got that Mystic shot off to grab one.
He's 13 to 10 right now, but still cleaning up. So, looking at Saintvicious, now that we just saw Bunny FuFuu kind of going for a gank, how does he kind of play these lanes? Because each one can jump, dash, or he's going to get headbutted. Does he just go for 6 and try to go for ults?
Well, so the thing is, it's a lane swap, so it completely changes the way jungle is played. Right now, Gravity are going with the double jungle, whereas CLG going with a little bit more greedy route where they have their top laner soak that experience. Saw it pay off there for Cloud9. This time, Gravity are actually bringing the double jungle, all 4 members, up to the top side. Zion has preemptively placed this ward, very smart. Doesn't want to get dove very early. He is on a bit squishier champion. Lissandra relies on her immunity spells, both the ultimate and the Zanya's when she gets it for her defenses. Her defensive stats are not very high. And this early on, very difficult for her to make use of the control that comes in her kit. So he's going to just walk away from that one.
Yep, he must have seen last game. Sure of the gank top lane. He knows what's coming. Walking over a ward himself, though. This is actually not a good position he's pinched himself into. He has the wall to get over. 3 levels. Oh, no! He face plants into 2 of the team. Bunny FuFuu reads it with the monsoon. Keane is in with shifting sands. Is it enough? It is not.
Gotta be careful to overdive those, so Gravity gonna hold on to their summoners this time. Only burning Ignite. They did get the flash out of ZionSpartan, who spent a bit too much time, honestly, on the Gravity side of the map. Everything
that was
sort
aggressive.
of north of the mid lane does turn into Gravity side since their duo is up top. And Zion a little bit too long on enemy territory, but only cost him his flash, doesn't actually end up going down. So not too detrimental. Now that he's trying to head back here and soak up some more minions, it looks like Cop actually has the wave pushing against him. So Zion heading up there is going to be risky. He's going to need jungle support to actually make that crash against the turret and get it reset, or else he will be very vulnerable. Has not brought extra wards, by the way, so it's just the trinket that he's laying down.
Ooh.
Did I talk about the spell shield accuracy? That was good.
Yep.
The stun right there, which would have been just a slow, but still.
Good call. I like it. Clarifying. But yeah, you were right. Doublelift goes in. Doesn't deny the damage of Blade Surge, but denies the slow that would have added even more damage. Easily farming these ones out as the turret not ramping up for minion shots, so you can get the method to that madness down. And we're just 6 minutes in here. People have voted and spoken 85 to 15%.
And I do want to call out what they just did. Even though it was a very simple move from CLG, Xmithie heads up top with his top laner when the wave is not in their control. They get to crash against the turret, and now he leaves him all by his lonesome.
Now, how difficult is that for a jungler? Because you can see it, but what if you don't have any camps on the top side of the jungler? You're just wasting time and hoping that you get the counter gank?
No, his priority is the wave controls, so getting the minions to bounce back. Not too difficult. They do have to always keep tabs, as you do in lane swaps, of both the enemy jungler as well as the enemy support, because you get a lot of roaming. Janna's not as high of impact as Alistar is when he's roaming, so quite a bit less threat there. Plus, she is showing in the bottom lane as the top and support try to duo here. Irelia going to make use of the shield to try and pick up CS. He'll just be dashing in and out with his Q, hoping to avoid damage from Doublelift as he tries to pick some up.
We have Xmithie coming down to the bottom lane. Cop! Ooh, good damage. ZionSpartan was kind of playing the no-look claw.
Cop not fooled.
No.
Able to land the big one very easily. You can see the end location of the claw.
BM.
That's just good gameplay right there, actually. Zion very frustrated.
He's got to teleport, but I don't know if he's going to miss too much. No, Cop's starting to push it a bit, so he may have to teleport back up there. Cop really, you can see that they do not want to match that lane up. We've seen Bunny FuFuu go to the bottom lane with Hauntzer for the 2v2 matchup, so he can stay up there by himself.
I mean, I actually would like to see the matchup because I think Alistar versus Janna. So Link gets him back. Cop stops Zion's retreat.
Yep.
Link one-ups him with the cross-map blue pill interrupt. Good play there, once again. But yeah, I do like the test of Alistar versus Janna. Can you get off your tornado quick enough?
It used to be one of the features that threw Alistar off the map into the air if you caught a mid headbutt. It was fantastic.
It's very scary as Janna if you're not able to get that off.
Yeah, it is.
You get crushed.
Forced to shield yourself, and then everybody runs scared for the hills. Looks like CLG getting what they want out of this top turret. A little bit more gold once they grab that down. And we already see Hauntzer back, and he knows it's falling. And it looks like Bunny FuFuu and Cop will be there to soak up the rest.
Yeah, but they're just too slow. CLG are the ones, they hit their point for a BF7 first, so Doublelift gets the back on the correct gold amount, also adds in boots, and they get up there quicker. So he used the move speed from his boots, BF sword, first recall, so it's always CLG so far making the first moves, and Gravity trying to react. So far, it nets CLG a turret. Also, Link doing his best to help out with the side wave control. We saw that ultimate go wide. Even against Azir here, CLG grouping up and trying to get some early damage done. Very difficult against Janna, though. Shielding turret.
Hauntzer back to lane. I don't think he's going to get anything too bad. He could be teleported behind, but CLG is actually not on the move for that. And ZionSpartan, he's already taken the long walk down. Janna is there for Keane, and they know Aphromoo is just off on the side. So they play this one safe, and nothing comes out of the mid lane.
It's such a beautiful early game setup by CLG. They make the first early recall. They're the ones who get the jump on the turret. They also use that time to lay down a ridiculous string of wards all through both sides of Gravity jungle. Full vision of every move that Saintvicious makes just in time when Saint hits 6 and he has the huge threat of the Vi ultimate. So they know where the Vi ultimate is going. Zion, now level 6, does have his own immunity that he can use if Saint decides to try a long distance ultimate. And he is heading down towards the bottom side.
Interesting here. Kind of Aphromoo resorting back to his not really heading for Sightstone. Xmithie grabs that, but they still have that ward coverage, so it's very much communicated on the team that it's up to Xmithie to get a lot of those wards down. It hasn't helped this, though. Gravity's able to push up a little bit past that ward line as it dies, as it was swept out, and they grab themselves first dragon of the game.
Yep. He actually walked by and saw the ward timeout. Vi is extremely good at taking the early dragon.
Uh-oh, didn't expect that much damage on the other end of the attack. The claw goes out, and it is going to be the finisher coming in from Xmithie. Great job by CounterLogic Gaming.
So they got the pick and the kill, but dragon's already gone. Saint too close to the horns.
We talked about these plays. They want. Oh no! Oh no! You did flash too. But
okay, well, he was flashing because he probably thought there was another Q coming from Lee Sin.
That's true.
Maybe didn't quite have the timing down there.
To us, it looked like he did right.
But basically,
but you're in that. You're in the moment.
Basically, what we're saying is Aphromoo finally makes a mistake. One of the rare occasions where we actually see him let somebody live.
Oh, I thought he got kicked.
Aphromoo has picked too many. Oh, was that Xmithie then? I take it back, Aphromoo.
I think Xmithie kicked him over the wall.
I should have known that. Aphromoo would never do such a thing. He actually used his W to get in range and start the whole thing off.
Boom.
You must be correct. Good call, Riv. Aphromoo, still immaculate play. Xmithie's the dirty one who let Saint live.
And we said he was most improved. Sheesh. 12 minutes on this. It's still CLG with that turret lead, which means their map control can keep flooding into the side of Gravity, which they've kind of started to push back on a bit. The dragon in their favor came of it, but they weren't really able to activate too much after that. CounterLogic Gaming wanted more, and they were able to come up with that kill. Let's see what happens. They just want more aggression on the map right now. Scuttle Crab is theirs. And they're just waiting for Gravity to become even on the map again. They can't see him. Slowing down the game.
All right, so CLG bring all their forces mid to the last standing outer turret here. Janna plus Azir, very, very difficult to shove in on, though. They quickly swing down to just lay down their wards. Pink wards on both sides of the mid lane here. Plus Link is on that Ezreal, so he is fine just farming here. Stacking up his tier. Gonna get his Manamune combined fairly soon here.
Nope. Team again, CLG looking to create their picks. Now they actually have to just pretty much run out of the fog of war. They don't have the bindings to work with this time. Making it work only a few times so far, missing one of those kills. But Gravity now knows they have to play quite safe. I wonder how Keane is going to take to these fights. Obviously doing a lot of damage here, but initially setting out his soldiers. They're going to be diving everywhere, so he's going to have the right movement to hit his targets here. It's going to be tough against CLG's squad.
Sends Zion the Frost Queen back to base immediately. Taking advantage of the long-range ward clearing abilities of Azir as well. Soldier attacks do count. Basically, this is the main point for Gravity to hold on here. Wave clear of Azir plus the turret shielding of Janna should mean that they can hold on fairly well. They just have to worry about, once again, a little roaming potential here. Sivir, anytime you're facing this team, especially if they have an Alistar on the side, that can catch anybody out of position. Doublelift plus Aphromoo can clean someone up as they swing between defense of secondary side lane turrets and the mid lane point.
Looks like this one could be good. Aphromoo has great positioning here to get in onto Cop. Valkyrie's there, but
can he interrupt the Valkyrie?
Yeah, I was going to say, get the perfect pulverize. So he decides not to. Maybe not enough vision on the rest of the map just yet. CLG is going to grab ward control here in the river. 2 minutes on Dragon, so that's not much pressure that they need to deliver anywhere else. And Gravity's just kind of allowing waves to flow into them. Comp's getting the farm that he wants right now. He actually did all right in that free lane by himself, since ZionSpartan did not have the greatest early engage towards that mid lane. But Gravity, they're holding strong right now as CLG continues to put on the pressure.
And they actually, got a decent amount of money onto Irelia, which is key for them. They want to get Hauntzer to his Trinity Force. They already have one on Cop, so Irelia plus Corki. We always go over this, the mid-game spike of those two, just because of especially the itemization. Once they can get double Trinity Force, they should be good to go. They can still make moves. Yes, they are behind, but it's just, that turret advantage and the first blood advantage. Gravity not panicking here. Just keeping up defensive vision, and now finally actually making an incursion into CLG territory. Red side prepped for the second dragon. 50 seconds is a fairly good window for them. All those wards leading up to it. See if Saint can also secure dragon control. Remember, it's 75 seconds once you kill the crab, so you want to get that thing about a minute, maybe a little bit less than a minute before the dragon will spawn, so that you have it up for that the dance that always occurs right before it.
So when this dance occurs, looking at this really slippery team of CLG, what is kind of the picture-perfect fight for Gravity if this starts off?
It's actually the picture-perfect fight is actually probably not around dragon.
Okay.
So we'll have to see. I think a lot of it hinges, as we said, on the Janna and Azir ultimate use. So Keane and Bunny FuFuu, we'll see what sort of knockback they can achieve with those two ults. Saintvicious probably going to be targeting Link with his ultimate, because Doublelift has a spell shield, Link also has a built-in arcane shift, and Zion's got his own immunity. So the options are fairly limited for Saintvicious. He's going to have to time it correctly. Zion does not, by the way, have a Zanya's, obviously. He's gone with the early Rod of Ages, similar to Quas. So if he uses his ultimate elsewhere, then, Saint opens up to more options. But here we go. They guess like they do want to contest it. Teleport comes in.
Teleport not going to be for the dragon. It's going to be for the cleanup on the fight. They get ZionSpartan. Frozen Tomb on himself. He will eventually go down. That's Keane picking up a kill. Great to get it on the mid laner to keep him and get him going. And it's going to be Emperor's Divide out. True shot barrage for the entire team. And Link is just spitting out damage from the back line. One more shot on a Saintvicious, but nobody can get in range. Bunny FuFuu throws himself in front of a Mystic shot to save it, and Link continues with the Sheen now Manamune finished, and he is not done. Yeah, he's done. He's going to back off after putting out some big deeps in that fight.
Yeah, pretty well played fight right there. Let's see what CLG can actually get off of it. Just a one for trade. CLG already took the dragon, so they do have that first 6% bonus. Looks like CLG, they're actually going to pressure the mid is their choice. So everybody's on that turret, by the way, right now. Doublelift is free farming, but it looks like they are going to get that turret as a reward.
And that's nice for CLG as well. Doublelift can still be free farming. They have an AD carry somewhat mid to be taking down turrets, so he is in the absolute perfect environment that he loves to live in.
Right here, the key is that CLG completely split. You can see Link went up the long route above the dragon pit. He was cut off from the rest of the team. So Saintvicious actually, he did something where he was trying to catch Zion before Zion could get his ultimate off, very quickly going into the Vi ultimate. But Zion obviously did get his off. There's the Aphromoo plus Doublelift combo, where Aphromoo goes in for the knockup and Doublelift shoots his boomerang straight across everyone. As you mentioned, the entire time, Link was spitting out damage. He had that Trinity Force completed for his Ezreal. But really, Saint trying to combo Zion before Zion had enough time to get off his ultimate. Because Zion built that Rod of Ages and he has his extra health, he actually survived long enough to get it off on himself.
Just a squeak.
Got that bit of AoE damage as well as the time for the rest of the team to regroup. Since Link was starting the fight on the other side, they needed that little bit of extra time to regroup. And, Aphromoo goes in for the re-engage.
Oh, ZionSpartan going in hard here, not afraid to make plays. He just actually comes back from the grave to repay that favor now to Hauntzer, and it looks like they may get the push they want on this. He flashes for the hit. That's going to put Aphromoo in range, and now we're starting to see this transition catch potential CLG's bringing to the table with this comp.
Yep, there it is. Link also with red buff here. Ezreal with red buff, one of the most annoying things in the game.
Yeah.
Let's see where they pressure next. Headed straight mid, Aphromoo coming in hot.
Oh, gets Emperor's divided back from every angle. Keane couldn't even look that many ways.
So Azir wall blocks many, many things, but it does not block projectiles.
Nope.
CLG, beautiful, highly accurate skill shots from both Link and Doublelift after the Aphromoo, beautiful setup.
That's one thing we've been seeing, not consistently from CLG, but they have those spurts. When they want to take something back, they get so much more, and they take it cleanly. A lot of that looked great, and they did overextend.
On the hunt again.
Why wouldn't he?
More.
Oh! Goes in for another one. The ward early deters Cop from the back. They're going to go ahead and just give this one over to Link. Make that nice and easy. The shield coming from Xmithie so he can get the assist. Well played.
Okay, Gravity, they're making a counterplay here.
It's gotta happen.
Commitment bottom. This is definitely Saintvicious' call. Okay, everybody, there's too many people staying behind Barons. Saint should actually swing around to the other side. Those back spikes do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Oh,
and he's gonna die from it. He died. He did get hit from Link's ulti, though.
That attack goes farther than the den. It attacks outside and behind it. Very painful.
If there are more people behind Baron and the spikes start coming out, it's a bad spot to be in. But he did not get tagged by Link's ultimate. Very, very close there. I don't think Link got a kill for that. And he was executed by Baron.
21 minutes in, the Muramana is finished. That is insane for Link.
Yeah, he's 4-0 on Ezreal with fully charged up. This is a ridiculous power spike. Not to mention they're the team with Sivir.
Oh,
okay,
God.
yeah. Derp.
Oh, it's Hauntzer now. Xmithie takes it, resonating strike, and he slows him. That's the cripple, but Hauntzer,
he hits it, Rim.
He knows what to do. Gotta get
He's gonna hit it.
He's got to hit the Q. Oh, he hit it. Everybody thought he wouldn't. Takes him down. That was great.
Standing ovation right there.
I saw it. People are loving it.
All right, CLG, customary, really good early game. Actually, a really good mid game so far. Let's see if they end it cleanly, though.
If they end it cleanly, we can start saying Golden Age. If not,
all right.
It's a little rusted.
But
it's still looking shiny for now. BF sword onto Link. Already Lucidity's, obviously he's trying to get more damage out, and he is just, nobody could stand toe-to-toe with him this game. We've actually had that happen for our past 2 games. Last time it was balls. It was just far and beyond gone powerful. And let's see, we'll have it for game 3. Link right now controlling it for everybody, and it's really only the kills onto Xmithie. Those guys are having a great game.
All right, so Dragon, 20 seconds left. That should easily be CLG's. They can ward up this entire side.
Yep.
And Gravity are going to have to hug turrets at this point. They're trying a little bit of defensive warding to see if there are any opportunities to catch somebody out away from the rest of the squad. Now that Gravity CLG are actually grouped for this Dragon, they should probably back off. Even being out in this close to it is dangerous. This is a team with Sivir, a super fed Ezreal, and a Lissandra.
He's not afraid to go over the wall.
They're going for it, though.
Oh, that was Saintvicious. That wasn't the ultimate. He did flash over, though.
Yeah,
he got popped out and knocked out. It's going to be ZionSpartan in a frozen tube again. The flash entry, actually, that was just a claw entry, and they start trying to tear Gravity apart here. They've already lost 2, though. Zion and Aphromoo fall. That's the tank line. Everybody else here, they can't really fend for themselves. That's the double kill for Cobb coming in as Keane flies over the wall with Flash and Emperor's Divide to continue the fight. They'll try to go for Xmithie. I believe that's going to be Hauntzer's job as the rest of the team heads for Dragon.
That was just a really well-played fight right there by Gravity.
Oh, Xmithie.
Let's see if they can get it, though. Xmithie's looking for the steal.
He's got nothing to lose. He's totally going for this. No, he's not. Conscience, the angel on his shoulder, said, just don't do it.
All right. Well, Gravity, really good job with their double training forces there. Saintvicious able to get the ultimate on Zion after he had already used the Lissandra ulti. And some Azir play from Keane. Let's watch it from start to finish here. So Zion, he flanks behind them. He wants to buy time for everybody to come in. Saint goes in to finish him off because he sees there's no immunity. And the Azir damage, both carries right here on the double AD carry team take multiple hits from both of the soldiers. Ooh. And then he goes in for the flash ulti. Huge, huge props to Keane. This champion, when played well, is ridiculously scary.
That was a really nice fight. Considering Frostbomb and the soldier attack are like the same size, and that hit everybody, they got all the damage they needed. Logic Gaming will look to not group up like that again. 25 minutes in, looking around at the inventories. That was Link's first death, but he's still quite far ahead here. 240 CS along with Doublelift's 250. They are the highest in the game here as they go to regain control of the map after a little bit of a mishap. It's something that we have been seeing throughout CLG's pretty consistent play. A little bit of strength here, and then a few mishaps. But it doesn't ever seem to really put them behind. They're able to repair that, right back at it.
Well, they still have, vision control over both neutral objective sites. Right. So they still will have the ability to chase someone down if they actually find Gravity split up. But man, Gravity just showed great team fighting right there. And Keane is definitely giving CLG pause, make them reconsider their very aggressive moves. ZionSpartan with the flank around maybe was a little bit extended. Azir gets hit though, he's toast.
That absolute 100-0 there of Keane's health bar. They're going to be able to take down Saintvicious as well. That's a 7-1-2 Link, looking for a repeat KDA of yesterday almost. And he is just doing a great job on this Ezreal pick. The team feeling good. Looking good as well. Yeah,
the patience right there. This is what constant ward control gives you. Since after the fight, as we said, they both still had vision control over both neutral objective sites. CLG, good job with the bait right there. And Keane had used everything in the last fight for his flash Azir ulti, so no escape for him. And really good shot there by Xmithie to start it off, and Zion with the immediate follow-up. So, pick works out for Team CLG, grab the Baron. They did lose a turret. Gravity did not sit idly by after Keane went down. They went and decided to trade an extra turret. Link making a good case for himself, I have to say.
Yeah, this is true.
Also, that's just a fun quote to use in so many ways. All right, so Keane trying to get the soldiers in for vision right there, but CLG, as we said, vision control, using it to their advantage to get the pick, and that's one of the squads, as we said so many times, the speed up and the ability for all of them to jump these walls. Very scary.
That tomb looked painful. I didn't realize there's spikes inside that tomb she puts you in. That's some stuff right there. 2 dragons over to Gravity. They have been able to squeak those out while being pretty much pushed back into their base this entire game. 1 for CLG, and that's not going to come up for any time soon, so their focus here is to push the lanes. Now, Aphromoo is going to be, I was going to say sticking with Doublelift, but they make me a liar. And Doublelift's going to take the bottom lane by himself. Why not? With the Baron, they can start getting good pushes on these lanes and set up kind of a defensive wall right there across the bottom side of jungle.
Yep, swinging over. They're going to make use of the Baron buff. This should be pretty easy for them to siege down. Gravity obviously wants to fight at the inhibitor turret, which are much harder to deal with.
Right.
And we will see. Now, the turrets do penetrate armor, but they do not penetrate the ultimate of Alistar.
Interesting.
However, they're going against, Azir and Janna, so everybody else will have a hard time following up on any sort of dive like that.
Getting to these turrets. However, with 2 ADs, once they do get to the turrets, they're going to be falling quite fast. Gravity doing their best to keep them at bay. Counter Logic Gaming, that is, as they push on to inhibitors.
Janna, Azir doing their best to keep their turret healthy, as well as get some harass down. Now, the way to fight against Baroned up teams nowadays, since the Baron buff lost its regen, is getting that poke down on those mages that cannot regenerate through lifesteal. So every poke that lands on Zion, really big. Here they go. They zone right in. Bully down the turret. It's almost dead.
That last minion from the back. He's got it. Believe. Oh, the shield. Gets it to stay up. I think he can get it, though. This is going to be a tough one. Keane tries to prevent it from happening. One more shot, maybe. Oh, the shield again. Man, what a tease. CLG still trying to get it on this.
It's one shot from Link here, though.
Why doesn't he hit it then?
Because it's scary to go into there.
Yeah, they get it. Base is open. That means CLG is now invited to this one. Cop trying to do what he can on the outside. They still put wards down in their base just to deter Gravity and give them something else to do. The CLG says, we're happy with this. It'll probably come from the next push.
Yeah, Baron falls off. Just in time, they decide to retreat. Inhibitor didn't go down for Gravity, so that's something for them. They won't have to worry about the extra pressure of super minions on the long lane away from Baron, which is the scariest place for those to be coming in. Still, though, the entire map is a dangerous, dangerous field for Gravity. If they misstep, the CLG squad will jump on them very quickly. Dragon again secured. This is only 2, though, by the way. We probably won't go to 5 dragons this game. I don't feel like that's in the cards. Probably a second Baron, though.
It's been pretty impressive that CLG kind of creates this environment for the team that they play against. It's very volatile, pick-oriented in the game. You almost can't walk into your own jungle. And they've kind of been able to do it to every team, barring their loss that they had. But they definitely have the idea coming into this split, and teams can't seem to figure out how to get around it yet.
Gravity did have a very well-executed team fight once. Might be able to do it again. Blue buff secured for Keane is huge as far as controlling the waves and trying to fend them off. We'll see if they can make a successful inhibitor stand.
See Keane's power. He actually doesn't have too much huge damage. He went for Void after Morello-Namacon. Well, putting in a little bit of that cooldown as well for attack speed on the soldiers. But nothing really that's probably going to change the minds of CLG here. The fight's going to have to be long to all that damage to get in. That's probably going to mean CLG already had their way with the fight. Pushing now again on an open inhibitor. This is a forced fight for Gravity. They're going to try to flank.
Yeah, they're going to use the gate to get around the side.
There's the ward, though.
It's really difficult for them to get onto Link, though. Aphromoo is playing Peeler right now, bodyguard Alistar rather than dive in Alistar.
Yeah.
You can see him waiting around the AD carries, looking to knock anyone back who decides to jump in. Now, you can't knock Violet or ultimate, but you can knock away any follow-up. And if Saintvicious goes solo and deep into the lines...
Ooh, Link taking down mid by himself.
Painful.
Yeah. They don't have too much to work with. CLG is kind of trying to spread them thin here between mid and this bottom inhibitor. I think they're waiting for the fight. CLG's okay with just hanging out here. They don't even need minions. They should have just killed the inhibitor already. They want to kill Gravity and win the game.
They also can easily wait for Baron to come back up 1 minute, so no reason for CLG to rush.
No.
It would be huge if they could take down the inhibitor, though, and have that extra line of pressure. They do not need to. Zion has completed his Zanyas, so he can easily use his Lissandra ultimate to help peel more additional peel for both AD carries,
Right.
using it on whoever dives in, and then saving his Zanyas for if he gets target swap too.
Solo inhibitor turret takedown if Link can get one more shot onto that. As the team approaches back down to the bottom lane, I think that's going to be the case. Gravity here just has so many things to think about. CLG having their way with this situation right now. That's going to be a 10,000 gold lead on the dot that CLG is working with right now on the map. And they're just kind of waiting to pull the final trigger here. Definitely giving Gravity a lot of space to work with. Not that it's going to bring them back into the game, but I feel like they could have gone a little harder.
They look very focused. They look very focused on finishing this game out much cleaner as well.
That's true. CLG has kind of always been, we'll take everything you have and then end the game, now that I think about it.
I would say... All right, I guess we need a full screen of the Baron spawn then. Let's see it. We got an epic countdown. Too late.
Boom!
Link gonna check it here. I don't know. I think I do have to agree with Mark. I was in a game, and since the reset happened, there's all these LCS players that are fairly low, and I got Link in the game, and he was actually playing Ezreal too, and I was shocked when I even tried to camp him. Didn't get anything done. Definitely overpowered. All right, well, let's see how CLG can control vision around Baron. 2 exposed inhibitors, but really the fight is over the wards here to see if they can get a pick, chase somebody down in the open.
Yep.
Oh, there's the flash, and they got one.
Is that the pick, Kobe? It's on to Saintvicious. He does get to Doublelift, but Doublelift is out and about, doing the damage he needs to do with the rest of the team. Bunny FuFuu does get taken out by that auto attack that traveled through from Link. The rest of the fight is going CLG's way. Gravity starts to flash for safety, and there's the Valkyrie. I don't know if it's going to be enough. It is, as it dodges the True Shot Barrage, but that's the base left to counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah.
And Gravity is just not running the right way.
Fantasy point cleanup right here for CLG. ZionSpartan wants him.
Link takes Krugs halfway through. That's one. That's another one. Link coming up with a good amount of kills on that. 10, 1, and 4 pretty much to end this one out as they're on the Nexus turrets. Counter Logic Gaming with a very methodical matchup coming in here. 35 minutes as they take down Gravity's Nexus.
Legendary Link ends the game very strong with a double kill. CLG closing out on the Nexus.
Legendary Link indeed. Fantastic play for him. 19, 2, and 11. His scores over the past 2 days, and playing 2 champions in the mid lane that NA really hasn't brought to the mid lane just yet. We've seen him other places, and they play it quite well as Link did. ZionSpartan as well, still playing very strong for the team, and Xmithie coming out as well to get help on that first blood. CLG's looking good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though they crushed yesterday and today, this was a much cleaner finish for them. So really, really looking scary today. I think the TSM CLG clash coming is just getting more and more epic day by day. The build-up for that old rivalry,
I like it,
to come together again. That will be a very exciting matchup.
So Gravity still to reflect on these games. Not that the early game went bad for them. The moves were made, obviously, by CLG with First Blood, but First Blood never ends a game, and they still had chances with Cop kind of getting that lane he wanted. ZionSpartan wasn't having the best game, so Cop got his farm in. It just came down to the late game. It came down to that guy right there. That's pretty much the story. It came down to Link making some plays, 1v1ing people everywhere.
Great mid-game play there from Link. Also, you know, good team fight. Shouting out the bright spots for Gravity. When they were behind, going up to contest that dragon and then retreating into the jungle.
Yeah.
Even with the teleport in from Zion to cut them off. Good heads-up play inside the jungle there. Keane really showing up on Azir. But too little, too late there. CLG's early game just looks ridiculously strong. They've played it so well in the last several games. And they've gotten such a big lead, and it's really hard to claw your way back in.
Aphromoo bringing out Alistar this game. You could hear the chants in the background. They weren't boos, they were moos the whole time. So he definitely had his chant going. First time he brings out Alistar, we saw him pulling out Morgana plays, and he still allowed it to be a pick help composition pick help.
Not only is his support champion pool really big, but he can even play AD carries if they really want him to.
No, that's true.
Usually when people talk about they're not even the best AD carry on CLG, they're usually referencing Aphromoo and his old AD carry.
Right.
But they've got Link, Doublelift, and Aphromoo all making good cases there.
Crazy stuff. And then with ZionSpartan coming in, a huge player in the top lane. Like we said, they're not trying to change him. They let him play the way he wants, and he still got through that game having a hard time. Now, looking at Gravity, still need to pick things up. They go to 3-3, so not terrible. Definitely still in the running to get themselves to the top before the second half of the split and the teams replay each other. Let's check in with Jat, however, for a word with CLG's Mad Cow support.
Thank you very much, Riv. And yeah, Aphromoo, Alistar, you normally save that pick against to support Leona. Why did you bring it out this time in this team comp?
We needed a frontliner this game, and we decided to run our double AD carry comp. So I had the job to play the frontline, so I did.
So it wasn't necessarily a matchup-related thing in the lane. It was more of just a team comp in general?
Yes, it was.
And now thinking about 5-1 from CLG after having to play in the promotion tournament, talk to me a little bit about the turnaround from that moment to now where, pending the results of the final game, you guys are first place in the NALCS.
It's pretty good right now. Pretty happy that we're going 5-1, but we don't really want to get complacent, which was what happened in previous splits. So we take every game by game, and take it slow. Even though, we have a little mess up, some shot calls, like last game, we almost threw at the Dragonfly where it almost aced us. But it's pretty fun. Everyone's having a good time, and we're also always laughing in LCS games, which we've never done before, so that's pretty cool.
And you guys have been playing ridiculously aggressively, almost like free and loose, which is one of your strengths. How do you avoid the complacency or the mistakes in game when you're playing that aggressive style?
Honestly, it comes down to our coaching staff, Scar and Zixlaw. Definitely keep us in line when we're scrimming. And even in scrims, sometimes people get frustrated at the start of the week. We want to run a comp, and we're going to run it. And then everyone provides their opinion. I think we should run it this way. So we have arguments and stuff like that. So it's not all roses. And I think that's really a recipe for success that we're doing.
All right. And final question now. After you guys are now 5-1, what's going to be the next week of preparation for you guys?
We're looking forward to playing against TSM. We definitely think they're one of the top 3 teams in NLCS. And that'll be a great game.
That will be a fantastic game. Thank you very much, Aphromoo. Congratulations on the win. Let's send it back to the guys at the analyst desk to break down the game.
Thank you, Jat. A 5-1 start. Best 6-game start by CLG in a North American LCS split. So fantastically done by them. And they really are looking or growing into that potential that has been talked about forever. They're looking strong. And specifically in this game, I think they crafted a comp that was ideal for the type of play that they wanted to execute on.
Yeah, there's 2 things I think that went really well for CLG. Number 1, they picked a team comp that plays to their team's strengths. They're really good at picking people off. And they picked up a Lissandra, Lee Sin, and Alistar. Okay, cool. They're also really good at out-rotating their opponents. So they pick up 280 carries with attack speed buffs. Ezreal hits W, Sivir and Ezreal together, knock those things down. So that was already a core piece to it. But they also managed to put together a comp that was good for a double AD comp. So AP top laner, check. Triple disengage, Lissandra, Lee Sin, Alistar, check. An actual tank, Alistar, check. Cool, your comp's not bad. They picked a good double AD. I've seen a lot of bad ones. Leona, I don't think fits in a double AD comp personally very well. Doesn't peel nearly as well as Alistar. So that was cool. You actually saw throughout the game, in real 5-on-5 team fights, CLG's not going to win. They don't care. They're making picks on lone opponents. They're disengaging the 5-on-5s, and they're out-rotating. And Aphromoo mentioned that one team fight they almost threw. They're trying not to do that ever, and 95% of the time, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Keane had a really good Azir game. But the thing that you were talking about there, this seems to be the CLG style that they are defining. Basically, you look at teams, you're like, Teammate, Calitrol is going to carry that team. TSM, they're going to look at Bjergsen. CLG are going to look at map strategy and Aphromoo to make some picks. But this game, Link really stepped up and showed that he is a consistent player on this team. The last week, he has constantly impressed me. His Nidalee was really good until he got caught one time. He's had a lot of good games this last week, and I think he deserves a lot of attention on this squad. Especially the play that he made to open up the map by shooting a true shot barrage to the top lane to hit Cop. It's a very, very small thing, but that delayed Cop. He then walked to his turret and then started his back when he was already 7 seconds in previously. Sure. So that delayed him by about 12 seconds and allowed Doublelift and Aphromoo to shove that turret down, which allowed them to put all their pressure on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
That really opened it up for him and allowed the pick composition to start doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. And I got to say, like, you talking about Link, it's such a godsend for CLG that Link is performing. His KD has been high, his kill participation has been high. When you're playing a rotation-based strategy, your mid laner is pretty central to that composition because he's going to be able to quickly go back and forth between all the lanes. Good for CLG Link's doing well because he's, again, just very central in all these CLG team comps.
Yeah, good for Link, too.
Yep, of course.
And it seems to me that their champion diversity across all lanes seems to be a little bit larger than that of other teams. The ability, like, Riv hit on it. The fact that they kind of have like a whack-a-mole thing when you go into champ selection. It's like, well, let's ban this out because that worked for them. Well, too bad we have this. I mean, you look at Aphromoo's champion pool and having Alistar, Annie, Morgana, Blitz, Thresh. He could play anything. In the mid lane, Link is playing Cassiopeia, Xerath, LeBlanc, Ezreal. Right. I mean, it's just absolutely insane the amount of options they have in order to perpetuate this playstyle that they want to go for.
Yeah, don't ban them. Just don't
ban it all.
Don't ban anything.
Just don't ban anything in CLG. It's a real mind game.
You ban things that change the style of what they're going to accomplish. You ban Kalista because then that gives Doublelift this huge hyper carry for him. Not hyper carry, but something that he performs extremely well on throughout the game. Then you ban things out that are going to make the composition work for them. You ban Lissandra. You're going to ban things that give them that type of pressure from the top lane on Zion. Well, you don't throw 3 bans or 2 bans at this thing that accomplishes the same thing for Aphromoo. And then he goes on a third one. That's what we saw yesterday. Today, we saw another Annie ban. He's like, I have Blitzcrank, Morgana, I have Alistar. You know, they're all going to help him accomplish what he wants to accomplish. But he went on Alistar this game because he wanted to be tanky. So they've shown that their playbook is very diverse.
Right, and that's the big thing. Is it's not like CLG is pulling a Fnatic where they're playing the same team comp and over it is replacing one champion for another when bans come in. It's like, oh, this is the roster of champions available. Cool, pick these 5. This is a team comp we've practiced. Okay, well, there's other set of champs available. Well, those 5, that's the team comp they go for. They've been able to come out of the bans in the first 3 picks and say, I see a team comp, and line it all up. That's freaking impressive. That is very, very, very good pick and ban by CLG, saying, well, here's what's available. Here's what we're actually going to craft together based on the roster left up. A+ CLG.
Yeah, and Aphromoo in his interview right there gave a lot of credit to their coaching staff. Yes. I definitely think it's very well deserved because they are doing a phenomenal job over there.
Let's take a look at an example of the execution of the team comp that CLG crafted.
Okay, so as we were talking about before, CLG, what they really want to do is play for picks, not 5-on-5 team fights. All they're looking for is a random hard engage, pick someone off, and then because they have double AD carry, those guys aren't cooldown based, they can do the rest of the team fighting. So let's pull the replay up, and you guys can see it's exactly what CLG wants to do. They've got a gold lead at this point, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically on the hard engage, picking off Saintvicious. Let's see what happens, guys. It's going to be just a quick pick. Roll the clip out, and you're going to see that Gravity don't have everyone together when this happens. If Keane were here, he'd do a lot of damage. Doesn't matter. Saint, right flash pulverize, Lissandra ult burn, Lee Sin's gonna go for a kick as well. Like, everyone's pressing buttons on Saintvicious if they can. Doesn't matter. Now, look, Keane just now is dealing damage. Too late. It's 5v3. Doesn't matter anymore. Turret's good. The ulti's good. Again, doesn't matter. It's already over. Partially from the gold lead, partially from the pickoff. CLG can take these types of team fights. If Gravity were a bit more grouped together, they'd be able to turn it around. But you're seeing flash pulverizes come out. There's no reaction time. The champion dies right away.
Yeah. Speaking of Aphromoo, Saint threw some props at Aphromoo on Twitter saying, Aphro carries CLG so hard it hurts. GG, though, that Baron attempt just showed how out of sync we were that game. And that's a very good point. It seems to be the theme with CLG in their rotations, in the way they play the map, that they just throw teams entirely off kilter. They don't know how to respond to the speed at which CLG is taking control of the map.
And here's the thing, too. Playing the game, I know that what gets you in your own head the most while playing is when you are solely picked off from the team. Because then it is pretty much your fault for being in that position. There's no like, oh man, we could have done this a little bit better. It's like, no, I should not have been there. And that makes you a little bit off your game, and it makes you a little desperate to try and make a play to kind of redeem yourself. So what CLG is doing is they're picking so many people off, it might be putting them in their head and putting the pressure on them because the spotlight is on that one person for that 60-second respawn timer that they were in the wrong place.
It definitely makes shot calling hard at that point.
Sure.
Freak, you made an interesting comment. It's very specific about item builds on the Sivir. Coming out of the Edge, going to another BF sword as opposed to finishing Youmuu's.
So it's something that Jet and I were talking about a little bit while the game is going on. There's this increasing trend of AD carries going for early Avarice Blades. And so the way you think about it, there's basically two big things coming on. So one, there's your first item spike, and that's Infinity Edge. And then the second item spike, which is Infinity Edge and Shiv or Youmuu's or PD or Bloodthirster or something. And AD carries more and more are saying, look, first item spike doesn't matter. I'm worse than the mid laner anyway. I'm worse than the Triforce power spikes. So let's just get to that second spike sooner where it does turn on and I do become useful. I understand the thought process. I think it actually might be the new thing we see from AD carries, but it's just a new trend that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just a fun thing to take note of, definitely for those of you at home to take note of and maybe try out in your solo queue games. Now, we do have more league action coming your way. When we come back, Team Liquid will square off against Team Dignitas, so stay with us.
It's all right, boys. Stay positive.
Yeah, I need to see that Darshan smile.
Stay positive. Darshan, show me those pearly whites, dude. I've been brushing, I've been brushing twice a day.
And it's going to be Emperor's Divide out! True Shot Barrage for the entire team, and Link is just spitting out damage from the back line.
You guys go for the pick.
No Q, he has no Q.
You guys go for it, go for it, go for it.
Irelia, ulting.
Just clap.
I'm collapsing, guys. I'm coming.
Watch his ear. Go. I'm coming. Turn around back. Go. I'm always.
We can do this. Flashing on Saint. Slowed.
Nice.
They can't really fend for themselves. That's the double kill for Cop. Is that the pick, Kobe? It's on to Saintvicious. He does get to Doublelift, but Doublelift is out and about, doing the damage he needs to do with the rest of the team. Buddy FuFuu does get taken out. Counter Logic Gaming with a very methodical matchup coming in here if they take down Gravity.